to the Improve Your Posture workshop. Yesterday we worked on back pain, and today we're going to focus on shoulder pain as well as chest tightness. So a lot of times shoulder and chest pain can kind of come from how we're sitting, how we're seating. So if you're thinking about yourself when you're kind of in this hunched over state, your scapula is protracted, so moving away from center. The muscles in your back are kind of elongated, and then as you can see as I'm here in this rounded state, and I'm being dramatic for effect, you can see my pec muscles are tightened. So then as people try to stand up, they can then kind of sometimes have some tightness here in their chest, some tightness here in their shoulders. So we're going to really work through that today, and you can do any of these exercises together, like in this video with a flow, or you can do them separate on their own. Each one can be performed individually. So let's come down to a seat here. And we're going to start by interlacing your hands out in front of us. And I want you to sit up tall here. So notice if you're leaning forward or leaning back. But I want you to reach your arms forward and then drop your chin and really round through your back here, starting to open up through those shoulder blades. And then sit back up tall, draw your shoulder blades back. We'll do this a couple times. So we'll round through the upper back. And then we'll draw the shoulder blades back. And I'll turn so you can see this. We're going to round and then come back up. A couple more times just like this. Round, so protracting, and then coming up. Two more. Round, and then come up. Last one. Round, push into the chest, push the sternum back, and then come all the way back up to a seat. And let's bring our arms up like a cactus here. We're going to do this a couple times. I want you to lift your right elbow up, move your shoulder blade back, and then down. And then left elbow up, back and down. And all we're doing here is moving very purposefully with our shoulders as we continue. And you might start to feel a little bit of a burn here, but essentially what you're doing is repositioning the scapula into a neutral position as we're here. So we're moving those shoulders more purposefully. And this is where it might feel a little crunchy. If it does, that's okay. By the end of this class, they're going to feel nice and smooth. I promise your shoulders might burn a little bit, but that's okay. A couple more just like this. Up, back, and down. Up, back, and down. Last one, up, back, and down. Left side, up, back, and down. All right, let's come over to a tabletop. Shoulders stack over your wrists, and knees can be slightly in, and then find your neutral posture here. So pin your shoulder blades onto your back. Pull your ribs together as we're here for a second. And we're going to do some kind of thoracic extension. So the thoracic spine is that mid part of your back. You're going to push down through your right hand and then reach your left arm high. Take your gaze down to the ground so you feel this opening in your chest. You might not be able to lift as far as I can. And then you're going to thread that left arm underneath, bend into that right elbow. And then we're going to reach, keep the gaze down, and then thread under. Yeah. You might feel this in your pec muscle. You might feel this in your shoulder. If this is too much on your right wrist, you can always make a fist here as well. Sometimes wrist pain can come from not being able to mobilize the scapula correctly or being able to pin your shoulders into that right spot. Couple more like this, reach up, and then slide through. One more, reach up, and then come all the way through, come down onto your shoulder, and then walk your right hand forward if you can, and just breathe here for a second. So moving that shoulder, that left shoulder into protraction here as we're reaching, extending out through the right arm and breathe. All right, walk your right hand in, and then you can bring that left arm back out, and we'll go right into the other side. So right arm reaches up, keep your gaze down, and then thread your arm through as you bend into that left elbow. And then reach and thread through. Try to keep your gaze relaxed down. Try to keep your chest really open here, so mobilizing through that spine. And breathe. Awesome. 3 more, you can do it. 2. Great job, last one, reach up. Thread through, come down onto that shoulder, and then walk your left hand forward as you breathe here for a second. Inhale, and exhale. Nice deep breaths. Walk your left hand back in, and then slide that right hand out again. We're going to do that same thing again that we started with. So I want you to push into your hands and then round through your shoulders like you would in cat. Drop your head, and then can you push into your hands even more here? And then come back to a neutral spine. And then push and come back into a neutral spine. Yeah, push and neutral. back to neutral. And let's lower down to our forearms. We're gonna look up for a dolphin here. So if you keep your hands open, what you'll notice is it's all about shoulder rotation. So with my hands open, you can see that the shoulders are more down the back. As soon as you bring the hands together, the scapula will come together just a little bit, giving yourself a little bit more support. So you can choose hands open or hands together. And we're gonna lift into a dolphin here and bend your knees a lot. And then push into your shoulders and pull your ribs back. So your spine is nice and tall here. We're just gonna do a couple shoulder shrugs. So you can kind of drop your head towards the ground here and then push into your hands as you shrug up. And then we'll lower and then push. And then lower and shrug. Awesome, 2 more like this. Lower and shrug. Last one, lower and shrug. Yeah, and then lower back down to your knees. Let's walk up to our hands here and let's press back for our first down dog. Lift into your down dog and feel the weight in your hands. So slide your toes forward just a little bit here. Bend a little bit to the knees, but feel this push of your arms. So you feel the shoulder blades kind of clipped here into place on your back. Big breath in. Big breath out. Big breath in. Big breath out. All right, let's step our left foot forward. We'll lower to our right knee and we'll come up for a low lunge here. Bring your hands to your shoulders and start to roll your shoulders here one at a time, moving in a backward motion. I did have a couple people ask me recently, why do you roll your shoulders back versus forward? Rolling forward, you're not getting as much action here in the pec muscle, so if you notice, it's kind of more of that closing effect. We want to open through the chest while we're here. So spine is nice and tall, glutes are squeezing together as we open through our shoulders and breathe. Awesome. Doing great here. Those shoulders should already feel a little less crunchy as we're here. Big breath in, big breath out. 2 more big rolls each side. Awesome. Then we're going to bring our hands to our hips. We're going to turn to the right, coming to our goddess pose. And I want you to bring your hands into egg mill. Make fists with your arms. Bend your elbows a little bit. Pull your shoulder blades back, but pull your ribs together. And then hug your arms together. And then open to the other side. So you're squeezing those shoulder blades back as you do so. Really starting to mobilize your scapula. And you can switch which arm is on top each time. Yeah, and breathe. So if you want to see from the back, you can see my shoulders drawing back here, loosening some of that kind of tension there, maybe tight fascia, and starting to kind of open through the chest as you strengthen through those back muscles. Awesome, 2 more. Last one. We'll hold here and then bring your hands to your hips. We're going to turn to the front and we're going to slowly bring our hands to the ground. Step that back plank pose. I want you to lower to your knees right away and then notice where you are in your plank. If your hands are too forward, walk your hands back so they're right over your shoulders and then shift a little bit of weight forward, but your shoulders are right over your wrists. And then notice, are you rounded in your spine? See if you can kind of click those shoulders into place and you'll feel your core turn on. Squeeze those glutes together and let's lower really slowly here to the ground. Awesome, bring your forehead to the ground. You'll bring your arms out like a cactus and you're just going to lift and lower each arm really slowly here. And I want you to focus on the descent. So you'll lift and then have a slow lower. Lift and then slow lower. Lift and then slow lower. Keep going here. Really feeling those shoulders working as we breathe. Awesome. 3. You can do it. 2. Last one. Awesome. Now try both shoulders. So lift the shoulders up, squeeze your glutes, and then a slow lower. Roll it just 3 times. Lift and then a slow lower. 1 more. Lift and then a slow lower. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, and then let's lift back into a down dog. And slide those toes forward again, and feel how much more room there is here in your shoulders. Feel how your shoulders kind of click into place a little bit easier. Let's go to the other side. So we'll step our right toes forward. We'll lower to our left knee, and we'll come back up for a low lunge here, and then hands to the shoulders as you roll the shoulder blades back. Yeah, and then now your chest and your elbows should feel nice and open as we're here. Just breathing, feeling that opening here. Feeling how more mobile your shoulders are. Awesome. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Bring your hands to your hips will turn to the left this time. Goddess pose, same thing. So squeeze those shoulder blades back, come back in, and then moving at that diagonal. Nice and slow here on the squeeze. See if you can maybe hold your arms back as we move. Awesome. Getting those shoulders nice and mobile, nice and strong as we breathe. Awesome, 2 more. Last one. All right, bring those hands back to the ground. Let's step back to our plank pose again. And right away, we'll lower to those knees again. And then set yourself up for success. So shoulders over your wrists. And then think about pinning your scapula, that main shoulder bone, onto your back as you squeeze the glute, squeeze your core. Don't drop your head. Keep your gaze down as you lower slowly. Awesome. This time, we'll take the arms straight forward. And you're going to walk your hands forward as much as you can so your shoulders come towards your ears. Bring your pinkies to the ground. Think about sliding your hands forward just a little bit more. And then same thing we did in those cactus. We're going to lift one hand and a slow lower. Lift the other hand and a slow lower. And you can see here, I have some good mobility here in my shoulders. You might only be able to lift just like a smidge, and that might feel like a lot. That's a-okay. We're starting to work on these shoulders as we move. Everybody's shoulders are different. Every day your body is different. And breathe. This is tough. Awesome. One more each side. So left. And then right. And then try with both hands. Walk those hands forward just a little bit more, then lift. And then a slow lower. And then a lift. And a slow lower. 2 more, lift. And a slow lower. Squeeze those glutes, last one, lift. And then a slow lower. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. And then press back into your down dog as we're here. Slide your toes in. And then feel how much more space here is your shoulders. We're going to do that same thing. So shrug the shoulders up towards the ears. And then draw them back. And then shrug and draw them back. So just like we did in our dolphin, really feeling those shoulders move here on our back. Awesome. Maybe walk those toes in just a little bit more. 3 more shrugs. Awesome. 2. Last one. All right, let's step to the top of the mat and take a nice big full body shrug. Reach your arms in up. And then lift your shoulder blades up and just notice where you are. We're going to do a couple exercises here. So take the arms straight forward. Now, and I want you to protract the shoulders. So draw the shoulder blades, or separate the shoulder blades on the back, really round to that back, and then see if you can lift here with the shoulders, and then feel your ribs lift up as your shoulders lift up. So just a couple times. So reach the arms forward, and then feel this lift as you reach. And then reach the arms forward, and then feel this lift as you reach. 1 more. Reach the arms forward, and then feel this lift as you reach. Breathe, fill the ribs up, and then hinge and fold. Awesome. This time we're going to keep the fingertips on the ground. We're going to bring them to blocks. We'll slide our right toes back here, and we're in a high crescent lunge. If this is too much, you can always come down onto that back knee if you want. But stay here in this lunge. I want you to keep your fingertips reaching for the ground and just retract your shoulders. So draw your shoulder blades onto your back and then reach your arms forward. So retract the shoulders, you're drawing them back and then bring them back to neutral. Retract and then neutral. Retract and then neutral. 1 more just like this. Retract and hold. Pull your elbows back and then reach your arms back and you'll feel your triceps engage. And then keep reaching back with the left arm and take the right arm forward. And then pull your arms apart. So reaching those right fingertips forward, left fingertips back. You'll bring your left hand to your left thigh and then open to the side angle here. Bend your right elbow and then start to roll that pec muscle. Yeah, the more you take your elbow back behind you, the more you're going to feel this as an opening in your chest here. Awesome. 3 more like this. Keep that elbow bent. Think about chest first. 2. Last one, big reach back. And then we'll bring the right hand to the ground. We're going to slide the right toes in and then lower to your right knee. We're coming to a modified side plank. So step your left foot back here. And maybe your toes stay on the ground here. Or maybe you can float them. I want you to take your left hand and cup your right shoulder. Feel your shoulder blade click into place here. So notice it's kind of drooping here. Really keep it nice and strong. There shouldn't be too much weight into your wrist because your core and your shoulder are holding. And then I want you to cup that shoulder, just like you would with your rotator cuff. Squeeze the muscles in your arm, and then draw your left leg in and out. And you'll feel the muscles in your shoulder working here as we do this. And you want to notice here, if you're feeling any kind of pain here in your wrist, see if you can start to squeeze your core a little bit more and kind of unweight your wrist. You can always come to the fingertips, but I want you to feel your shoulder and use your shoulder as we work here. 2 more, draw in and out. Last one, draw in, step it back, put your foot on the ground, bring your left hand to the ground, and then we'll slide our right toes back for a full plank this time. And notice, are you here? Are you kind of here? Are you too far forward? Pin those shoulder blades back, lower your knees, and then slowly lower your chest. This time we're going to walk the fingertips out, and you're going to come to a fingertip kind of push up here. Elbows over the wrists, and I want you to draw your shoulder blades back, and just push your pubic bone down. See if you can retract those shoulders, and then see if you can relax your neck. This will feel like a nice good neck stretch, nice good shoulder stretches right here. Awesome, then we'll lower down, we'll extend our right arm far to the right, bring your left hand underneath your shoulder. You're going to bend your left leg, and then roll to that right shoulder and breathe here. If this is too much on the ground, you can also do this at the wall here as well, and breathe. Deep breaths. All right, we'll roll back to center, slide your hand in, and then we'll press back up, downward facing dog. Slide your toes, and we're gonna do one more side. And then push into your hands, shrug the shoulders, and then draw them back. Push, and then draw them back. Couple more, push, and then draw them back. 3 more, push, and then draw them back. 2, push, and then draw them back. Last one, push, and then draw them back. Step back, forward, forward, fold. Take your arms forward first as you come up. Reach and round through the spine, and then feel this lift into the shoulder blades. See if you can reach the ribs up a little bit higher. And we'll go right to the right side, so hinge and fold. Step your left toes back. We'll lower to our knee, or we'll stay lifted to our knee if you can. Otherwise, you can always lower. Come to your fingertips here, and then retract your shoulders, and then bring them down. Retract, draw back, and then draw them down. Keep your belly lifted up off your thigh here. So core is super engaged, glutes are engaged even as we're moving. Yeah, mobilizing through those shoulders. 3 more. Draw back and forward. Last one. Draw back and hold. Pull your elbows back, extend your arms back. Keep reaching with that right arm, reach your left arm forward and pull apart. Yeah, right hand to your left or to your right thigh. Open to the left side angle here. And then bend your elbow and roll that shoulder again. Yeah, nice big movement. You might notice that one pec muscle is a little bit tighter than the other. That's okay. Nice deep breaths. Awesome. 3 more. 2. Last one. Bring your left hand to the ground. We'll pivot to those left toes. Slide your left leg in. The trick here is to have your foot and your knee pretty close together. And then bring the right leg behind. Cup your shoulder. Shoulder really active here. You can keep the foot on the ground or stay lifted and start to draw in and out. Feel the stability here in your shoulder, in your core, and in your glutes to really keep yourself upright. So there's no wobbling here. Your low back is still really long as you feel the shoulder blade working. Yeah, 2 more. Last one, draw in, and then extend out. Bring your hand down, step back, plank pose. Pause here for a second, draw your shoulder blades back, really tall spine. Lower the knees, lower the chest. Fingertip cobra, walk those fingertips out, and then draw your shoulder blades back. You can keep your gaze down or start to lift it, but don't crank into your neck. Think more about your shoulders. Squeeze those glutes here. Lower down, extend your left arm out, and then we'll roll to the left this time and breathe. Nice deep breath. Hard work here today. Everybody's doing a great job. All right, then we'll roll back to center. We're just going to roll onto our back, whatever that looks like for you. And I want you to take your arms out like a T here. And we'll just bring the knees in and we'll drop them over to the right. We're going to bring our left hand on top of our right. We're going to start to circle our arm, but see if you can trace your fingertips along the ground. So we're back stroking that arm again. Yeah, and then really reaching through those fingertips as you move, mobilizing that shoulder just a little bit more here. Yeah, one more big circle. The next time your hand is over to the left, I really want you to reach with those fingertips. Keep your gaze over to the right, and then feel this opening in your chest muscle. Bring your legs back through center, and then all the way over to the other side. Right hand comes on top this time, and then we'll circle, tracing those fingertips along the ground. Now we're breathing here. Awesome. Deep breaths. 2 more. Last one. And then reach all the way over to the right. Feel your pec muscle, feel your shoulder here. And then we'll bring our knees back through center. And we'll extend our legs here. Draw your shoulder blades back slightly. Take up a little bit more space here on the mat. And we'll take a deep breath in. And a big open mouth. See if you can relax your shoulders. Feel your chest open. Maybe you can even feel your heartbeat. Take this moment to pause. If you want to take a little bit more time, you're more than welcome to pause this video. Or just start to breathe. Start to deepen your breath a little bit more. Start to bring movement to your fingers and your toes, your head and your neck. Bend your knees and we'll roll over to our side. And then take your time as you do so, slowly press yourself up to a seat. Spine nice and tall. Hands at your heart, and then see if you can sit up a little bit taller, and maybe just roll your shoulders here for a second, and notice how your shoulders feel. Thank you so much for sharing today with me. I am so happy to have you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.